Happy Monday, everybody. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity, perfect opportunity, to kind of clear up some misunderstanding about the mind-body connection and pain. Okay, I did cross country on Saturday, and I've been provided with the perfect opportunity to explain this, because just before the race started, I was doing some sprints, getting warmed up, and I rolled my ankle on a divot or something. Oh god, it was painful. My wife said I went white. But I know that with an ankle injury, usually when you twist your ankle it goes, so that was okay. But after about 4 miles of the race, got this pain in my calf. It's like I pulled my calf. Now, interestingly then, the trainers that I wore for the cross country, I had not worn for about 5 years, and the last time I wore them, it was when I did Chester 50, and basically they were the wrong trainers. The ground was too hard for Innovate Mud Talons, and I damaged my calf. And I remember before I even started, my wife said, "Oh well, I hope the same thing doesn't happen," and I just fobbed it off. I didn't say anything about it. And there, lo and behold, after 4 miles, my calf went. Burning pain, agony. I stopped for a bit, but I decided to kind of do an ongoing investigation and see well what happens. I was in a lot of pain, but I decided to tell myself that I'm safe, that I'm fine, and to manage the pain. And it was there, maybe a 7 out of 10, but it never got worse. Okay, so I managed to finish the race. As soon as I finished, I was in agony, and the pain was so bad that I couldn't walk back to the car. My wife had to drop me at another car park on a chair, and she went and got me. So the pain was bad. Now, a couple of things here. The ankle pain, you have 2 different kinds of pain. So my ankle pain, it was because something's damaged. I damaged myself. So that's not in my head. I can't psychologically overcome that, because I could have broken my ankle, I could have torn the ligaments. So when you fall and you hurt yourself, don't say, "Come on, it's all in your head." No. That's so there. We have pains from injuries because we've torn, damaged, broken something. Okay, so that's one kind of pain, but that will heal over time. If you broke your leg, it would take 6 or 7 weeks for that bone to heal, and during that time it probably will be painful. So that's not in your head, it's an actual physical damage. Number 2, when we're talking about chronic pain or mind-body pain that is not in your head either. It's all in your head, No, again, when I talk to people, they kind of say, "Oh, Gary says it's all in your head." No. The work by Dr Sarno, the TMS, the tension myositis syndrome, is much bigger than sport injuries. In fact, to kind of relate it to sport injuries is probably, sometimes I feel a little bit disrespectful, because TMS, tension myositis syndrome, is for people with debilitating chronic injuries such as sciatica. A colleague that I work with, she was so bad, the back pain was so bad that when she went for a scan, she had to get a private ambulance because she couldn't even sit up. But I still strongly believe, and she's kind of getting that way now, that was brought on by stress, not by a damage to her back. So let's talk about TMS. Apologies. Let's talk about TMS and running then, the sports injuries. So when I was running and I got this pain in my calf, it hurt, and I gave it a bit of time and had to decide, have I torn a muscle? Because if I have, that's an actual physical, physical pain. Or is it some kind of psychological thing? Is it that, because I've had this pain in my calf before, and I think that it is B. I think it's somehow psychosomatic. I don't know why. But with TMS, with tension myositis syndrome, what the mind does, the subconscious part of your mind does, it reduces the blood flow to a part of your body that maybe is a bit weaker anyway, like your back, like your shoulder, frozen shoulder, like your wrist for carpal tunnel syndrome. It reduces the blood flow. Your mind makes a decision to do that. And think about your mind, it impacts on physical things all the time, doesn't it? If I was sat with my wife and she says, you want to go upstairs for a little bit of nookie, it alters me physically, if you know what I mean. If you talk about your favourite food, your mouth starts to physically, water. So your mind can have a massive, and does have a massive impact on, your physical side. Okay? So I'm not trying, like I'm saying, I don't want to trivialise this at all. Okay? So if you have got a chronic injury, a chronic pain, then please look into the work of Dr Sarno. His book The Divided Mind is a great book. But let me put it onto injuries then. If you've got a chronic injury, running injury, and it's not getting better, there's a good chance that is being created by the mind. I'm not saying it's all in your head. I'm not saying it's all in your head. That pain is real, because what the mind has done, the subconscious part of the mind has done, has physically changed a part of your body to stimulate pain. So I can feel pain in my calf, but the pain isn't caused by damage. The pain is caused by the mind trying to protect itself from something else. So often people with TMS, tension myositis syndrome, pains, they've got other things going on in their mind that, stresses and anxieties, and sometimes actual real deep trauma that the mind don't want to deal with. If you've been somebody who's been sexually abused as a child, or you've had a horrific car accident, that is absolutely traumatic. And so rather than dealing with that, your subconscious gives you something else to think about. Frozen shoulder. And my friend, she had a car accident and she's since suffered with fibromyalgia. So rather than concentrating on the horrors of what she saw in the car accident, she's having to deal with physical pain. And that's what the mind can do. My friend who had a terrible bad back, at the time she was going through some real stresses with her job. She didn't know whether she was going to lose her job. And how come those two things happened at the same time? So back to the running. If you have got a mind-body connection pain, what you've got to do is first of all recognise. I gave my calf a little bit of time, so Sunday, I didn't do anything yesterday, and I've come for a walk today, and I can feel it, and I'm certainly not, again, that's another thing my wife sometimes says, that I'm going to run through the pain, or I'm going to ignore the pain, I'm going to hurt myself. No. If I have properly damaged myself and I have torn something, it's not about being Goggins-esque and manning up through the pain. Got to decide whether it's real or not. Okay, so I'm pretty sure. In fact, It's always hard to say it, but I'm probably like 98% sure that this is a mind-body connection. Some crazy kind of link between those trainers and when I hurt myself last time created that pain. I know it sounds crazy, but I think that's what happened. So, number one, I didn't do anything to treat it. If it's a mind body, if you put a compression sock on there, if you put some gel on it, it's reinforcing the fact that you think it's damaged. So the one thing I did not do, I've not done anything to my calf, not treated it in any way. Okay, number one. And now, since Saturday, I've been saying to myself, when I'm moving, I am fine, I am not in any danger, there is no need to create this pain, I'm not in any existential danger, I'm not going to die or anything like that, because that's ultimately what the brain sometimes thinks, that you're going to damage yourself. I mean, look at my potential stress fracture in the spine race last year. It was swollen. It was actual physical. You could see the swelling. 3 days later it had gone and I was back to running again. What's all that about? So, first thing I did, I've not done anything to treat it. And now what I've got to do, by walking this morning, a little bit of jogging, is prove to my body and my mind that actually I'm not in any danger. I'm not going to damage myself. So I'm walking with Daisy and I am proving to my mind, my subconscious, that everything is okay, that I'm not in any danger, I'm not going to damage myself. So a little bit of jogging, only tiny, just to build up that subconscious confidence again. So yeah, I've done run 20 metres, look, I'm absolutely fine. And that's the next thing. When you recognise it is a mind-body injury connection, you've got to build up the confidence in your subconscious by doing a little bit, and then, oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? Recognising that it's okay. Look, I'm not hurt, I'm not damaged, I'm walking absolutely fine. Saturday, less than 48 hours ago, I couldn't walk half a mile to the car. So again, don't think, oh well, it wasn't that, it wasn't real pain, he was only putting it on. No, I was in real agony. I asked my wife, it was her that said, look, sit here, you can't walk. Okay, so I hope that I've cleared up a couple of things there. Summarising, it's a long video, I might have to put it on YouTube. Summarising, as a runner, we can have two types of injuries. We can have actual damage, torn ligaments, broken bones. They are painful, and that pain is there, full stop. And it will take time to recover. You need to do everything to recover. But I think a lot of our chronic injuries, if you've had a knee pain for months, that doesn't make sense, because a broken bone only takes 7 weeks to repair. So really look into the mind-body connection, the work by Dr Sarno, TMS. Because what you've got to do, you've got to first of all recognise that it's a mind-body pain. It's not in your head. Your mind has changed that part of your body physically to create pain. It reduces the blood flow to that part of your body, be it your knee, be it your calf, be it your shoulder, to create that pain. So there is pain there, but it's not pain caused by damage. I hope that makes sense. Once you have done that, you've got to recognise it's a mind-body pain and speak to your subconscious. And to speak to your subconscious, I say out loud, we are not in any danger. We are safe. We are fine. There is no need to create this pain. We are not going to damage ourselves. And you've got to convince and develop that confidence. It's like, it's like having somebody that you've hurt their feelings, you've hurt their confidence, because you think they think you've betrayed them because you push yourself physically. It's a little bit like a relationship, so you've got to build that confidence back up. So this morning I'm walking, which feels absolutely fine. I'm going to jog a little bit, and only slowly, just to build up that confidence, and I'll do the same again tomorrow, so that I'm hoping that by the end of the week I'll be back to running normally. That's the plan. Okay, I will put this on YouTube, and I hope it helps somebody who has got what I think is a chronic mind-body connection injury. Have a great day.